Hello,
How do you do?
my name's Michele.
My name is Whistler.
Whistler?
Whistler. Not Whistler, Whistler.
How you spell it?
Whistler. Whistler. Not Whistler, but Whistler.
Ah, Whistler.
Whistler.
That's a fun name.
It is a fun name.
Can you say who you were the last time you were here on Earth?
Officially or specifically?
Officially.
Officially, I was known to the world as Queen Victoria.
This is my son Stephen, whose body you're using to communicate. And that is his love, Jennifer. She's never seen this before, so this is new to her and you. I'm so happy that you came to visit. And I watched, I saturated myself on your life yesterday. We have this wonderful thing called the internet where...
If I may stop
Yes.
you like that. Saturating your life. That's a very fun expression, is it not?
Well, apparently, yes, your great-nephew produced a film, which you're aware of cameras, when in film, about you and Prince Regent, Albert, about your growing up and throughout your life, and so I watched that last night, and he did a great job. He showed all your houses in Scotland, Balmoral. I didn't know Albert had designed Balmoral, which I know that is your current great-granddaughter favorite place to be, from what I understand. But so I wish to learn more about you. We know what you did in life, and you were a prolific journaler. I was very surprised. But for 67 years, that's amazing, because I've tried it off and on my whole life, and I don't get very far, even though I'm a writer. So to stick to it and document your life, I think you were just definitely a writer.
Journaling, as you said, was before it as a means of de-stressing. Of being able to take a look at something that happened in my life. Something that I might have overlooked.
Would you go back and reference it in later, after time had passed?
Hmm? You see, if you write it down while it's fresh, you will have that memory that is fully stored within your mind, as opposed to remembering it years later.
Well, and also your emotion that is attached to it too. If you read it with the emotion that you write it, it's probably comes to you more impactful, I would think.
In a way, it's experiencing the same event twice.
Without the disadvantage of pulling it from memory and seeing it through the lens of time, right? So, can I talk about when you were 11 when your dad died? And that whole period. It just struck me as, here you were 11 and your father died, and from what I had been aware of, that you were sequestered for your whole childhood by your mother and her advisor, Conroy. You didn't like him, I don't think. In Kensington Palace, and you weren't allowed to have friends. And your friends were the dolls that you made.
He did not like me. I called him kumquat. I was very unbecoming as a child.
And he couldn't retaliate, could he? He just kind of...
Well, not in front of mother.
So, up until that point, did you have friends that you interacted with and, playmates?
As much as my position would allow.
Right. Because it's not like you would play with the servants' children,
Because it was not proper.
So, growing up in that environment, you don't know any different, but all of a sudden, were you aware? I know that being a teenager, you get hormones, that you're a completely different person in the teenage years. So maybe when you were 11 till you reached that point, it wasn't probably so bad. But when did you really feel the isolation that you were living through as a teenager before your uncle died?
It's more of when did I not feel the isolation. There was those who catered to me because I had special privileges, and then there was those who resented me because I had those special privileges. There was never a middle ground. There was never no extreme on any end. There was always resentment. There was always expectations. There was never anyone who actually tried.
So you didn't have a mentor who would took you under your wing or offer you that, that guiding hand to say it will turn out okay, and really to be your compass?
It was more of, I was expected to do many things, and I was expected to do it mostly on my own. I was given best teachers, best instructors, but I was never actually given someone to place my faith in. And it was Kumquat who most drilled it into me.
Of duty, obligation,
honor.
But didn't at the same...
Especially honor.
Well, but he wasn't... Was he telling you one thing and not doing it?
His conceptions about honor were very apparent. It was more of a moral code he can enforce but not follow.
So he was giving you mixed signals, and so that wasn't very trustworthy.
And a lot of people gave me mixed signals as well. So it became sort of a game of trying to see someone behind the mask.
Did you get good at it?
Very good.
So how long?
If you can only be fooled too many times by certain people that you leave yourself exposed.
So you got good at reading the energy behind the facade. Well, I mean, that's a valuable gift, and you wouldn't have probably developed it unless you had been exposed and forced to develop it, because as a, self-saving measure, especially when you're young, because what do children do? They emulate their environment, their adults, and,
Acts appear, try to get favor.
Well, what favor could you do?
I remember distinctly, one count actually had their son try to propose me at a very young age.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Was he a lot older, or was he young too?
He was young. But he didn't know what to do. He didn't know any better.
Right. So, I guess Kumquat squished that quickly, huh? Although he and your mother worked to introduce you to your love. So in a way, he did serve out a function that was useful for you.
He didn't downright despise me. He was more of, I was not who he wanted me to be.
Well, he must have been the type to like to manipulate circumstance and the people to be the way he wanted.
It's the only way he got where he was, if I understand it, in my later years.
Right.